Welcome to Boxing During Dinner. We're here once again at Randazzo'S Little Italy here in Coral Gables, Florida. And I got Joe D, Yankee Clipper, Jolton Joe DiMaggio behind me, and I got Rocket Marciano too. So you know we're in a good Italian place when you got those two behind you. But you know, I want to start off, it's been a terrible weekend for boxing. First Saturday night, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, we heard the sad news that Johnny Tapia, one of the most charismatic fighters of all time, Mexican-American warrior from New Mexico, passed away at the age of 45. Johnny lived hard, he lived fast, and you know, died at a young age, unfortunately. Johnny Tapia, as you guys know, hard life, you know, 8 years old, saw his mother get stabbed in front of him, stabbed 20-something times. Tough childhood, became a world champion fighter, you know, suspended for 3.5 years for cocaine use. Came back time and time again, was in and out of comas throughout his career, overdosing a few times, but this guy battled back hard and harder and harder, and you know, he was trying to change his life around. I saw him last year when Mosley fought Manny Pacquiao, and he was trying to change his life around, working for Showtime, interviewing fighters outside the ring, and Johnny is charismatic as ever. You know, for all the stuff you read about Johnny Tapia, you know, the cocaine use, domestic violence against his wife on several occasions, but you know, it was in part because of his drug abuse. And Johnny was as nice as he could be. You know, if you met Johnny Tapia, it was just a joy to be around. And Johnny Tapia will for sure be missed, dead at 45. I was telling somebody the other day, you know, him getting to 45 was against all odds. I mean, this guy cheated death throughout his life, and it finally caught up with him. But Johnny Tapia, you know, rest in peace. You know, he's a warrior. He will be missed. And, you know, us boxing fans will enjoy his fights for the rest of our lives on tape and DVDs and stuff. He was a great warrior. And then, you know, to add insult to injury, even sadder to some extent, because this guy was in the prime of his career, Paul the Punisher Williams, days after signing a fight, Saul Canelo Alvarez in September on a pay-per-view, a fight that was going to get him a lot of exposure, was going to get him back on the map if he beat Canelo, a lot of money. This guy, on his way to his brother's wedding in Atlanta, Georgia, crashes his motorcycle, gets paralyzed from the waist down. You know, we wish Paul Williams the best. Our prayers are with him here at Boxing During Dinner. And Paul Williams, such a great fighter, was a world champion at a young age, beat Margarito, he beat Winky Wright, beat Carlos Quintana after losing to him. You know, the controversial loss to, win against Erislandy Lara was what most people remember him, the last memory of him. He did beat Ishida a few months ago. But Paul Williams, man, what a sad story. Hopefully he could come back and live a normal life. Hopefully he could walk again, you know, with science and medicine right now. Everything that's come up in the last few months, the last few years, you know, I hope he could make a good recovery and could live a normal life. But Paul Williams will be missed inside the ring. But now the question is, who does Canelo Alvarez fight? This is taped on a Tuesday evening, so as of a few hours ago, they were negotiating against James Kirkland, who was supposed to be one of the original opponents. Kirkland is coming off a knockout loss. He did beat Angulo, who he almost got knocked out against, and then he had a controversial win against Carlos Molina, a fight that Molina dominated. James Kirkland did not look good at all in that fight, except, you know, coming on strong at the end, dropping Molina. We all know what happened after that, the controversial stoppage. But James Kirkland is a hard puncher. Canelo Alvarez has not been tested. At least his chin has not been tested. Jose Miguel Cotto, Miguel Cotto's older brother, almost knocked him out with one punch a couple years ago. And since then, Canelo has really been in against inferior competition. He fought Shane Mosley, who was 40, past his prime. He looked like a beaten fighter as soon as he entered the ring that night. So James Kirkland needs to do a couple things. One, take off the first round. Do not try to battle him in the first round. We saw what happened against Ishida. Ishida knocked him out. He needs to take off that first round, try to box him, walk around the ring. Second round, though, attack. You're a puncher. You have a puncher's power, a punching fighter's chance to win this fight. So in the second round, you need to go all out. James Kirkland needs to go all out, try to knock out Canelo Alvarez. If he gets deep in this fight, he's going to lose. Plain and simple. He's coming off shoulder surgery. Do we know how his shoulders are coming into this fight? It's going to be the big interrogatory. But Canelo Alvarez is going to be protected. He should be fighting Erislandy Lara. He should be fighting Miguel Cotto. This is a pay-per-view. This is not an HBO match. This is not an ESPN match. This is a pay-per-view. but he's going to fight James Kirkland. This should be an HBO fight. Golden Boy Promotions has a hell of a job in front of them. They need to put a hell of a pay-per-view around this fight. Obviously, they got Johnny Gonzalez against Daniel Ponce de Leon. Fine, but get Erislandy Lara on the card. Get other big fights on the card because Canelo against Kirkland is not going to sell itself. James Kirkland, yes, he's a hard puncher. HBO will try his best to do a 24/7 around this fight and try to sell this fight to the maximum of their abilities. But James Kirkland, we all know he has a puncher's chance to win this fight because of all the power he has, but he does not have a boxer's chance of winning this fight. Us at Boxing During Dinner a few months before the fight will say that Saul Alvarez will win by decision or late round stoppage unless Kirkland follows the game plan. The game plan should be take one round off, balls out in the second round, go out and try to knock him out. And that should be the game plan for James Kirkland. If he doesn't fight Kirkland, I hope he fights Miguel Cotto or Erislandy Lara. Vanes Martirosyan, yes, he's clamoring for a fight against Canelo Alvarez. He knows it's a big payday, the opportunity of his life. But brother, you're not going to get the fight. You don't want to fight Erislandy Lara, who's the #1 ranked fighter. So why should you get the fight against Canelo Alvarez? You're doing what you're accusing Canelo Alvarez of doing, fighting inferior opposition and not stepping up to the plate. And unless you fight Erislandy Lara, you're not going to get that title shot because Canelo's not going to give you that title shot. And why would anybody dish $50? Alex behind the camera, would you pay $50 to watch Vanes Martirosyan against Canelo Alvarez? Just move the camera to the side. No, absolutely not. So this fight should be an HBO fight, ESPN fight. Vanes Martirosyan, you're not getting this fight. James Kirkland is way more exciting. He's been in there in wars. At least people have seen him on that HBO level. They haven't seen you yet. And let me not rag on Martirosyan too much. He's not a bad fighter. He has beaten the opposition in front of him. But is he a pay-per-view quality fighter? Not yet. HBO quality fighter? Maybe. But let's get there step by step. Fight Erislandy Lara on the undercard and maybe you will get your shot. So that's it for the Canelo Alvarez. But this weekend, we have such a good card on Showtime. Antonio Tarver against Latif Kayode. It should be a good fight, but Antonio Tarver, I think his experience inside the ring, his wars against Roy Jones, against Bernard Hopkins, it'll be too much for Kayode in this fight. And then we got Peter Quillen, who's a Cuban-American fighter. A lot of people don't know this. His father came in the Mario boat lift, settled in Miami, went to Wisconsin, then moved to Chicago. And Peter Quillen, he has a fight of his life against former 154-pound champion, junior middleweight champion Winky Wright, a legend, a future Hall of Famer in boxing. And Quillen has his shot on Showtime this weekend. If he wins this fight, bigger and better things will come to him. You know, Sergio Martinez definitely has a fight he's looking for. I doubt the Chavez fight will happen. So Peter Quillen, if Chavez beats Andy Lee, could be a challenger for either Chavez or Sergio Martinez. So for Peter Quillen, this fight, Kid Chocolate as they call him, you know, the original Kid Chocolate, a great fighter, Hall of Famer, this guy could do the same if he sticks to his guns. You know, this guy works his butt off day in and day out, and he's finally going to get a good shot against Winky Wright. He beats Winky Wright, you know, he's a little older, past his prime, but so what? You know what? It'll be a win. At least Winky Wright will be on his BoxRec record once you get to it. But Peter Quillen, Kid Chocolate, wins this fight. You know, sky's the limit for this kid. Well, what do we have here? Mark Randazzo bringing dinner for Boxing During Dinner, because without the dinner part, it'll just be boxing, right?
Veal scallopini.
So what do we got here, Mark?
Veal scallopini. Veal franchise with the little.
Looks good.
Looks good. My wife loved to be at the red wine. She bought red wine. Doesn't better. The greatest accidents happen.
So Mark Randazzo is always cooking up a storm here for Boxing During Dinner. The Sicilian vaca frita, always a winner. We had what was it, the cavatali. Like a couple weeks ago, it was great, and now we got the veal, which I'm sure is great. And as always, Alex puts it across the screen for you guys. See address for Randazzo's. Tell them Boxing During Dinner send you. You know, come out, have a meal, and you get to meet Mark Randazzo, a former great fighter, former title challenger, right? That's him now, and this is him in his fighting days. He said he has more food, but as we eat, we'll continue here on Boxing During Dinner. As I was saying, Peter Quillen, one of these weekend's fights. But also, if you go down to Uruguay, get out of North America, go to South America, Michael Oliveira, who Boxing During Dinner will have on this week. We interviewed him inside Thumb Gym, him with his trainer Orlando Cuellar. Michael Oliveira gets to go back to Brazil, his hometown. He's gonna fight in Uruguay, but he's gonna fight his idol, Marcelino Popo Freitas from Brazil. How many times does a fighter face his idol? I mean, it doesn't happen much. But Marcelino Freitas, who does politics over there in Brazil, really popular fighter, is fighting Michael Oliveira, a young kid here from Miami, Florida. Goes to FIU, an excellent fighter. Doesn't need to fight. He comes from a well-off family, but Michael Oliveira, if he wins this fight, a lot of good things will come to this kid. He's been working his butt off. Alex and I got to see him spar a couple of times, tough sparring matches, but he is ready for Marcelino Freitas. I say he wins this fight this weekend. And if I didn't predict the other fights, Peter Quillen should beat Winky Wright by decision. I'm picking Antonio Tarver against Coyote. Also, and Austin Trout, this guy's a guy who, if Kirkland turns down the fight, could fight Canelo Alvarez. He's a title holder at 154. He's fighting Delvin Rodriguez. The winner of that fight should definitely be looked at, because Delvin Rodriguez, do you guys remember his fight against Pavel Wolak last year? Those fights were amazing. But also Leo Santa Cruz against Busey Malinga, and Daya Davis against Sakio Bika. Daya Davis, the son of Howard Davis, who was a 1976 gold medal winner. But you know what? It's like we need to keep everybody's attention. So Justin Bieber gets arrested a few weeks after starting to train with Mike Tyson. Coincidence? I don't know. I mean, like, he goes from this boy idol who thinks he's tough and goes into the ring with Floyd Mayweather, and now he gets arrested for beating up a cameraman. And now Floyd Mayweather and 50 Cent, days before Floyd Mayweather goes to jail, Media Takeout is reporting that Floyd Mayweather gets in a fight with 50 Cent inside a restaurant over a $10,000 bet. Floyd Mayweather should be staying out of all this junk. I mean, he's going to go to jail for 90 days. He's going to come out, make $50 million against whoever he fights. But Floyd Mayweather Jr., stay out of trouble, man. 50 Cent, all these guys, not worth it. But, as we wrap up Boxing During Dinner, next week we'll have an all-out episode talking about Pacquiao against Tim Bradley. A great fight. David will be back next week. He's driving down from Rochester right now to be back on Boxing During Dinner next week. But we'll be talking about Pacquiao Bradley. Also, Brad Jacobs will come in the week after to talk about he's from Top Rank Boxing, former head of Square Ring Promotions with Roy Jones. He'll be talking about the Bradley Pacquiao fight, the aftermath, but we'll be talking about the preview next Monday. Also, Steve Zemak from Boxing Asylum will be with us. So a great episode next week here at Randazzo's Little Italy. So until next time, Boxing During Dinner here. You can find us on boxingduringdinner.com. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. The addresses will appear on the screen. But once again, our hearts go out to the family of Johnny Tapia, Teresa Tapia's wife. Sorry for your loss. And also to the family of Paul Williams. Paul, make a speedy recovery. We all wish you the best. Life is way more important than being in a boxing ring. And right now, all that we care, brother, is that you recover. You live a normal life. The doctors take care of you. And that you get out of the hospital as soon as possible. Make that recovery. And Paul, thanks for everything you've done inside the ring, but now it's time to recover outside. We love you. Boxing During Dinner, wishing the best to you guys, and we'll see you next week. It's a big meatball.
That big when I was boxing. I mean, fresh every day. Only I have the recipe.
The recipe is golden.